Hello. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for anyone who doesn't know, this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or sometimes for no reasons at all.
That's right. And usually it's a power hour.
Yes.
However,
you did a power 2 hour. And so we are in different clothing and we are just popping right in to give you an introduction to the fact that this is a round dose of the same story.
That's right.
Which Heather, I don't even know if she remembers what story she did whenever she recorded it now that I think about it.
Alice Crimmins.
What?
Was it Alice Crimmins? Yes. I know that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know that I would have.
I know. I was like, Alice Crimmins. I wait for Jess to say, okay, in our defense, obviously it's been a couple of weeks. I've had a lot of things happen.
Yes, many things happen.
Yes, after 100 and almost 70 episodes.
Sometimes it gets dicey.
Sometimes
it
does.
Anyway, this is the start of of the last episode. Now we're finally giving you a climax. And there it goes.
So, this is so sad. So, Missy, she was on her side. She was in her nightgown, and she had a pajama top tied around her neck. Jerry forced her to identify the body in front of all of them, too. Just like...
I would think that her reaction would identify.
Right. Alice cried, and she fell. And Jerry was like, well, she fell in front of the cameras, but as soon as they left, she stopped. But no one knows if that's true or not.
Right.
Because he stretches the truth a lot as I keep going. So... they take her back home. They take her back to the station first to question her for more hours. She just they just show her daughter's dead body. Her son's still missing. Question her for hours. And then they're like, all right, well, we have to take you home.
So she was strangled?
They couldn't tell the cause of death just yet.
Oh, like just yet or ever?
I don't think they say ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was, sorry, I'm trying to understand the body. So you said she was in her nightgown and she had a pajama top around her neck.
I think that was the cause of death.
Okay.
But they were more concerned about.
I didn't know if it was different. Like, was it her pajamas?
It was, yeah.
So she was naked. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Is it a separate pajama top that was wrapped around her neck?
Yeah, I think so.
So then somebody would have had to have gotten her pajamas out of her dresser.
Yeah. See, I don't know because I didn't dive into that side.
To what the body was.
No, like where and where the clothing came from. They just said she was in her nightgown and had a pajama top. So I don't know if she had on the nightgown and it was over her top. Like I don't know how but
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This makes me fully believe that the pajama top, because it would have had to fit her. And didn't say an adult pajama top.
Right.
Or a male pajama top.
I know it was hers, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then it's so unlikely she had a nightgown and a pajama top on top of her.
Right.
So that makes me think that it was the mom.
Yeah.
Or the whoever was in the
right.
They had to have known where to get pajama top.
Mm-hmm.
That is like red flagging again.
It was, yeah, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
A lot of them. So they questioned her for more hours after that. After she broke down, and then her son's still missing. No one knows where her son is. They take her home. Her mom came over.
Please don't hate me. I'm making sure I understand too. Where was the body found?
Less than a mile from her house.
Okay.
They didn't say where, but it was.
Okay.
It was.
That's all I needed. I didn't know if it was like.
No, that's valid.
A block away or something. I don't know.
They said less than a mile because they don't pinpoint it, but they say
close
to her apartment. Yeah,
that's close.
So her mom comes over, and they're both distraught. Like that's her grandkid, you know. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't eat. So Alice is like, we literally cleaned all night long. Well, they don't fucking sleep anyway. So in my opinion, they don't sleep. But so they cleaned all night long.
So I'm just
yeah.
for the audience. So they find dead daughter and then aggressively clean the house.
Yes.
Okay. The color by number painting in front of me, sister. It's painting a whole lot of Alice. I'm getting a lot of Alice in here.
Yeah. Well, you would fit with a lot of the people because this story, the second that it broke, it was on every headline every day. All the time in all the newspapers. So, okay. Detective Jerry, he comes back the next day and Alice is done up again. like makeup, hair,
Just 'cause
everything.
he's coming at a random time?
He came over the next morning to talk to her. Like he said, I'm gonna take you home, and he showed up the next day and she was done up. And he's like, that pissed him off. And he would come over every day, and it went on for days. He would come over to give her updates.
This doesn't feel right, sis. What? This doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You had told me so Heather told me, but she had mentioned the name before this, and she was like, I really need you to pay attention to how you feel about the main character and whether or not she did it, which is why I'm being very like opinionated.
Yeah.
Because Heather asked me to be.
Yes.
And no part of this is saying that Alice wasn't in it.
Right.
Like, I can't wait for you to go through those pages to somehow make me feel like it was someone else. Right. But Jess wears makeup. I'm pretty sure if she lost a child, the next day she's not stopping doing her hair, putting on mascara,
right,
blush, and lipstick, let alone what we have to fucking do because Jess has a cooler haircut. But like, it's like, I can't fathom it.
Right.
I can't fathom ever bathing for 4 days.
Right.
5
I agree.
days. You would literally have to throw my moth-smelling body into water to bathe.
So
you'd be so depressed.
I'd be
You'd be so distraught.
Right.
You would now come to terms that your son was probably dead. All of these things. Mm-hmm. And you're fucking deep cleaning your house like you're on meth and getting ready.
Right. Right. To play devil's advocate, and it's not my opinion, just saying, some people are like, well, that's how she coped. Everybody copes different.
That is not, putting on makeup
Yeah.
is not a coping mechanism. That's the
different.
lamest excuse I've ever heard.
Oh, I agree. Okay. So this went on for like days and days. Like he would just come up because, they still don't know where her son is. So he would come over, and every time he went over there and she would look like that, he hated her more.
Were they not like scouring the places right? I'm like,
yeah.
Why are you coming to visit Alice so fucking much? Like, you should be all over everything trying to find the boy.
He thought that's what she was saying. Like, he was so focused on me that he lost sight of finding my fucking son. Like, yeah. So, and okay, that went on for days, and they kept going back to Eddie too, her ex, or her separated husband or whatever. Just like, okay, flip on her. Just flip on her. I need you to flip on her. And he's like, she wouldn't do this, and I didn't do it. So will you please stop? Like, get out of my face. I didn't do this. Find my son. You already found my daughter. Find my son.
And find out who did it.
Right. And they're like going back to them. And that's what I was saying. They kind of got hung up and I'll tell you why in a second. So
I'm sure it wasn't just like, there's more than one cop, right? Yeah. So like, he could be doing that while everyone else is doing other shit.
Right.
Like, I do understand there's like, that's a lot of ants.
Right.
All over the fucking hill, if you will. So it's not like it was just one dude doing the job.
Yes.
But I feel like people should have been scouring.
Right. Missy's autopsy came back, and it showed no signs of sexual assault. Her stomach contents, which play later in the trial, showed carrots, potatoes, string beans, which, like I said, Alex bought at the market, macaroni, chewing gum, and some small dark brown seeds. Now, Jerry's like, all right, we got her, because there's no veal. There's no veal. Jerry's like, she lied about the veal. She's lying about everything.
Fucking idiot.
I know. And
or she didn't eat the veal.
I know. And I'm like, he goes, well, some people were like, well, maybe she just wants to look like a good mom. I'm like, or maybe her kid was like, I don't want veal. I'm 4. Like, right. Like, give me macaroni and cheese. Like, I can remember like being young.
Kids aren't eating the veal. That would have been for her.
Yeah.
And veal is delicious. It's also really expensive.
Yeah.
So when you first said it, I was like, money.
But like, yeah, so that's what I said. They probably were like, I don't want to eat that. But I also want to point out that the medical examiner was very like, I do not know a specific time of death. I can't tell. So he gave a 6 to 18 hour window prior to when she was found. So between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m.
Why couldn't you tell? He wasn't very good at his job. I don't know. I'm trying. Why can't you tell? The body wasn't.
I guess
in
it
water,
was
wasn't in excessive heat.
It was in rigor already.
I know.
And he said he couldn't tell. I don't know, 60s, man. Okay, 5 days after Missy, little Eddie Jr. was found somewhere else not too far from her, but they weren't together. His body was so decomposed that they couldn't tell a time of death or anything, or a cause. So they just assumed it was the same night.
So it was only 5 days?
5 days after they found Missy, and it took them a couple.
And Missy was time. 18 hours?
No, that's what time they think she died. That's not when they found her. So
no, okay, pause. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah,
okay. So what I'm getting at is you said that when she was found, she had been dead for 6 to 18 hours, correct?
That was the time of death, the window.
Right.
Like, but it wasn't after she was disappeared.
Right.
Okay.
I'm only talking about the death.
Got it.
So you're saying 6 to 18 hours from when she was found, and then 5 days later, he was so decomposed in 5 days?
She wasn't found for like a week, and then he was after that.
Right, but you said the time of death was 18 hours from when she was found.
No, 18-hour window. So like from the time that she disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's confusing. Okay. I get it. I worded it weird. I get it.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. So they're saying like, when when
5
Alice
days
was
and 7
saying,
days.
when Alice was like, Eddie had to pee, Missy was sleeping. He says he doesn't know that night when they went missing whether they were killed between 10 p.m. or 4 a.m. So Alice's story could or could not be true because the night that they went missing.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Then she was, and I'm literally just trying to make sure I get it.
Yeah.
So she was missing for 5 days before she was found. And then was she 7 days and then 5 days?
Either way, it was basically like a 2-week period and she was in the middle.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to understand the decomp.
Yeah, so he was
now
already...
it makes sense. I was like, fucking 18 hours and the body was too decomposed.
Yeah, no.
That fucking confused me. Even 5 days, I was confused.
Right, yeah.
Unless there was like extreme heat, water, there's a lot of other reasons, but okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carry on.
Okay.
Sorry you had to go so slow.
That's okay.
My math didn't math because I didn't hear you right.
So one theory... about this was that they were both killed because the kids were super close. Like Eddie called her his little sister my Missy. His dad took him on a camping trip, just the guys, and he had to come back early because he missed her so much. So like they were tight, which obviously they kind of had to lean on each other a lot, I feel like. Yeah. Since they were in a cage.
Well, and they were like only 1 year apart. Mm-hmm. So that's unbelievable to be that close in age. And it didn't sound like they got a lot of play dates because she was too busy fucking.
Right.
So I'm sure.
After this, both of their kids are passed, sadly, and Eddie and Alice try to reconcile. Because that needs to happen.
Are you serious?
Yes. They try to reconcile. They're like, he's been obsessed with her. She's like, I need somebody, whatever. Alice, though, still went out and saw other men.
So she is still dating while her kids were just murdered. Her kids were kidnapped. Yep. Mm-hmm. I need to understand. So her kids were kidnapped and murdered, and she still had enough joy in her heart,
right?
Enough tingle in her hootie hoo to go date and get into bed and fuck people.
Yep. And she was trying to get back with her husband.
Okay, so I think she's the worst.
Yeah.
I think she's the absolute worst. I have a fuck Alice shirt on. Fuck Alice. So, whether or not she did it, fuck her. Right. She's a shit ass human. She is a shit human.
So, and the cops saw that. They were like, okay, she doesn't give a fuck. No, Detective Jerry, his tunnel vision goes in and he's like, I'm going to get her. For 3 fucking years, though. 3 years. This is where I was like, I don't know. Because they bugged her apartment and recorded every single phone call, and they set up shop right across the street from her apartment for 3 years. 24 hours.
What did they think they'd find?
24 hours a day.
What did they think they would find? Who is she going to call to say that she killed her kids and talk about it?
She said that.
But she didn't. Hold on. So sorry.
That's okay.
Because it's obvious she didn't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And I'm sorry too. We've said tunnel vision so much. This isn't tunnel vision. This is investigating a crime where the main suspect is being suspecty.
Yeah.
You know, it's them investigating.
Yeah.
So I still don't see like the tunnel vision on it. I see poor policing in the way that they handled the crime. And then watching her for 3 years was stupid because there's no follow-up.
Yeah.
Like if she wanted to get rid of her kids because she was tired of locking them in the room while she fucked strangers, who is she going to call and tell if she didn't have an accomplice?
Right. Well, so 3 years... And I'm going to bulldoze this because I got a lot, but like I get what you're fucking saying.
Yeah,
like
I'll be quiet. I'll let you just go through it.
No. Like, okay. So 3 years they set up shop across from her house, 24 hours a day. They put like, this has to be expensive as fuck. They put somebody across from her house. They listened into everything, but Alice knew that they were doing it.
Of course.
Yeah. She was like, I know you're trying to get me. And she was more like, okay. So she's like, you want to hear me fuck these dudes? Let's go. They listened to everything.
She
knew that they were doing this. And she said, quote, See, they wanted me to break down. They wanted me to grieve, not for the sake of my children, but for them, the police. I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction
of her grieving her own children at all.
They were my kids, and no one was out to see who killed my kids. Now, they didn't get one shred of evidence out of all that, by the way. She didn't say one thing, like not one.
Why would she?
Right.
Once more, I'm going to say there was no evidence to get.
Right. And they watched Eddie too during this time, and he did some weird shit. So the cops said that Eddie was overly curious about Missy and Eddie's injury in great details, like their injuries to their bodies.
I'm sure he wanted to know what his kids went through.
To the point where a couple of the cops were like, parents don't ask those detailed of questions. It sounded like he was poking at them to see what they knew. Instead, that's just what they said. And they also said that Alice was getting, because they were listening, getting some harassing phone calls and sometimes heavy breathing. And sometimes a man spoke and it sounded like Eddie. Also, Eddie had taken a lie detector test and passed it. But the day before, witnesses had seen him at the library reading every book they had on polygraph tests. At some point...
Whoa.
At some point...
I would too. If I knew...
Oh, yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
If I knew that I was going to get a polygraph test, number one, if I know that I'm going to cook my eggs in a different way, I'm going to read everything there is about how to cook my eggs, whatever way that is. So I will say that I'm already weird in my book reading skills.
Cook your eggs.
But if I was going to do a polygraph, I'd be like, okay, I need to understand it. I need to know what it's trying to measure.
That's valid.
I need to understand what I'm about to put myself into because I can get arrested at the end of this.
Very valid.
So I would have read it too.
Yeah. And...
Go him for having a library card.
Right. And also, at some point before the kids went missing, when they were like broken up and still speaking or whatever, he told Alice was like, this is all my fault, blah, blah, blah. I'm such a bad mom. And he's like, well, the blame's not all on you. And this is going to come out of fucking left field from the other field. And he was like, well, I mean, okay, I have to confess, I did expose myself to some little girls at the park. What? She told the police this when they were interrogating her, and the cops were like, boys will be boys, and kept going. Like, they were like, that's weird. But anyway, so what did you do? So
that is weird, but I don't know how it relates to the case.
Yeah.
It's very inappropriate, and he should definitely get like a misdemeanor.
Right.
Like, we should probably do something about that.
Right. And they ignore everything weird about Eddie and also some other potential suspects. Alice was trying to get back to a normal life, and the cops were harassing her. And her name was everywhere in the news, right? She hadn't been arrested or convicted at all. She would get new jobs. She would use her maiden name. She was like, because this is like, 2 or 3 years later, she would use her maiden name, and they would call her new employer and be like, she killed her kids, right? And then she'd get fired. And they did that like over and over.
Sounds good.
Yeah. They also would tell Eddie like, hey, she's got a dude over at her house, and he would storm every time they heard her bring a guy home.
So were they still trying to get back together? She was sleeping with other men. It doesn't sound like
he was still on the hook, but I think they were on the outskirts. So he was like, okay, well, I think his obsession was dying a little bit. They were still married on paper.
I mean, he never once was like, did she kill the kids?
Right. He kept saying she didn't do it. Right.
Yeah, because he was crazy, like in love with her.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't see. He if you're okay, if you're so into somebody that you're okay with knowing that they're going to pound town constantly with not one other person but a black book of people.
Yeah.
You're kind of missing some fucking marbles.
Right. Marbles.
So I can totally see how you wouldn't see.
Yeah. He's a little blinded.
Murder.
And then after 3 years, they were like, okay, it's been 3 years. We have to do something. So they kept this whole time. The cops were going to the medical examiner, and they were like, I need you to say that. Basically, they pressured the medical examiner into being like, they died before, like Missy died before midnight, right? She died before midnight. Because if that happened, then Alice is lying. So they were like, he was like, I can't say that. I don't know that. I can't say that. And after 3 years, he was finally like, fuck it, fine. Yes. Midnight. I
would have hoped that they would have had better ways to like confirm timelines then.
Yeah.
Like 3 years later, he was now able to be like the capillaries in this part of the body had, you know, truly.
Yeah.
That's how cold cases are solved.
Yeah.
We have new techniques.
Right.
So I don't.
Yeah. And so then with his.
Because him coercing, being coerced into stating like an a firm time, he can go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So I also feel like if somebody was nagging me to confirm a time, I'd be like, go eat a dick, Joe. I'm not going to lose my job and go to jail to lie on this fucking report for you.
Yeah, well, he did. He did.
But you don't know for certain that he lied. You're
my
going through assumptions.
My assumption personally is I think that he stretched the truth, because after 3 years and they kept going back to him like all the time, and then he was like, fuck it, fine, yes. So they arrested Alice for murder, and then she made them wait to put on her makeup and her hair. I had to put that on there. So they also had gotten an anonymous letter that turned out that was turned in by a nosy neighbor, and then a neighbor, and she had nosy names, a nosy neighbor, and she had been known to embellish her stories. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, that's just Sophie." But this was anonymous at the time. Here is the letter.
Always got to read.
You don't have to read it. You want to read it?
No, I don't want to read it.
Oh, then don't read it.
Anonymous letter.
You have to read it.
I've been reading about your bringing the Crimmins case to the grand jury, and I'm glad to hear it. May I please tell you of an incident that I witnessed? It may be connected and may not, but I would feel better telling it to you. This was on the night before the children were missing. The night was very hot and I could not sleep. I went to the living room and was looking out the window getting some air. This was at 2 a.m. A short while later, a man and a woman were walking down the street towards 72 Road. The woman was about 5 foot in back of the man.
Yep.
She was holding what appeared to be a bundle of blankets that were white under her left arm and was holding a child waking with her right hand. He hollered to her, "Hurry up," and she told him to be quiet or someone will see us. At that moment, I closed my window, which squeaks, and they looked up but did not see me. The man took the white bundle and he heaved it into the back seat of the car. She picked up the little baby and sat with him in the back seat of the car. This woman was thin with dark hair, and the man was tall, not heavy, with dark hair and a large nose. This took place under streetlights, and I was able to see quite plainly. The car turned from the corner of 153rd Street to 72 Road and out into Casino Boulevard. Please forgive me for not signing my name, but I'm afraid to. Wish you the best of luck, a reader. P.S. About an hour later, I thought I saw just the man getting into a late model white car.
Yeah.
I love the P.S.
I know. It's like she hand wrote this letter out and then was like, P.S. So they actually did really, really good detective work and narrowed it down and figured out that it was the neighbor named Sophie who lived near her. So she said that they said that when they opened the door, she's like, I knew you'd find me. Like, she was odd duck. And they just like, why didn't you just sign your fucking name then? Like, why do we have to waste all this time if you knew we'd find you? Anyway, so Sophie, they're like, okay, so are you going to testify, Sophie? Because we need you. And she's like, yes, I love attention. Put me on the stand. So they tried Alice for the murder of Missy.
That makes no sense. She'd go on the stand, but she was too scared.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And then I'm also intrigued that then cops show up to her house in like uniform if she's too scared and they figured it out. I'd be like, plain clothes, please.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, agreed. I didn't even think about that when I was typing her letter out, like what she said. So they tried Alice for the murder of Missy since Eddie's results couldn't be determined, and she was arrested, and then she posted bail. Now, months and months went by before a trial date was even set, and then in America, we have the right to a speedy trial. And so her lawyer's like, okay, can we do this or drop it? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, dismiss it or let's go. Like, we're tired of this. And by 1968... So 3 years later, the judge is like, yeah, you guys need to do it. Like, move forward or I'm going to throw it out. So they move forward. And from what I gathered, Alice didn't get a fair trial from the jump. Whether you think she's guilty or not, she didn't get a fair shake. So the jury was 12 married middle-class white men, a.k.a. 12 Detective Jerrys up there. And by the way, Jerry had been quoted saying... It's not funny, but it's just like, what the fuck? He was quoted saying, quote, if Alice was my wife, I would have killed her. So like, oof.
I would kill my spouse if they killed my kids.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic employing your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Did your face look like a mugshot lately?
Then it is officially time for you to visit Hetef Aesthetics in Owensboro, Kentucky or Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right. Go see our girl Amber Teasley and her team because they'll have your face and your skin look like a damn filter.
And their staff is absolutely amazing. It's like a mini Botox party, which personally is my favorite. You leave looking fresher and you don't have a hangover.
Another good thing is that if you go in there and you tell them that a couple of sassholes sent you, you get 15% off of everything.
That's unbelievable. So if you have been considering getting that glow up and making that ex jealous, it's time.
And Jerry got on the stand, and out of nowhere, he's like, oh, there was dust on the dresser by the window, but it wasn't in any of the police reports or photographs or anything. And he's like, they couldn't have gone out the window because the dust wasn't disturbed on the dresser. Mm-hmm. The medical examiner gets up there with his news story and says that she had passed away before midnight. And then Sophie, who wrote the letter, has a ton of new details outside of her letter that she didn't have before. And she even points at Alice in the courtroom and is like, that's who I saw. Like, points at her. And now they went to Sophie's place, and there's no way that she could have seen that much detail or even heard what they were saying from how far away her apartment was. Yeah. Now, and she gets up there and she's like, Sophie's like, yeah, I heard Alice talking about her pregnant dog, which that's obviously a lie because the dog gave birth 2 days after the kids went missing, and it was a surprise. Like Eddie was like, we didn't know that dog was knocked up, and neither did Alice. So
how did she know that the dog was pregnant?
Sophie was saying she made it up.
Right, but how did Sophie know the dog was pregnant?
She said she heard her. She heard
Alice
I know, say it. Oh, I get
how did she ever know the dog was pregnant?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Alice probably heard it. Alice saying she didn't know the dog was pregnant. She also didn't know where her kids were.
Now, remember Joe, her sometimes main friend? Yeah. So the cops have been hounding him to flip on her. He was like, they even went so far as to use truth serum on him. Like, and he didn't know anything even when he was under, and he didn't know anything.
Of course he didn't. He was like a boring fuckboy.
Yeah. And they said, he was like, I don't know anything. And they still thought he was lying. So on a break during the trial, this is mid-trial, Alice is with her lawyer on a break. Joe goes in there and he's begging her, I need you to marry me. Please marry me. I want you to marry me. And she's like,
isn't he married? I'm just he was married with 7 kids, right?
Yeah, but at this time they were on the rocks. Like, he lost his job, he was drinking all the time.
Was he still married?
On paper, I don't know. So, like, okay, that
makes no sense.
So on a break during the trial, Joe goes in there and he's like, please marry me. And she's like, can you please get the fuck out of here? My kids I'm on trial for the murder of my kids. And then he was like, she's like, I didn't even really like you that much back then. Like, we had fun. It wasn't that serious. And he's like, what the fuck? So she says no. And he's like, okay, well, will you go talk to my wife for me? Because she's mad at me and she's threatening to leave me. So she's like, please marry me, please marry me. She's like, no. And I'm on trial for murder. My children are dead. And then he's like, oh, well, can you talk to my wife? So, okay.
I'm going to act like I'm not even going to address any of that. Yeah. I'm just going to let the silence do the talking.
Okay. And then, so when she's like, and she, you know what? Alice says, sure, I will talk to your wife for you. Like, basically, please leave me alone. He left, and then he went straight to the prosecution and sided with them. But here's why. They kept digging into Joe because they're like, we got to get something on him to get him to flip on her. He knows something, and we have to get dirt on him. So they found leverage. They found out that Joe used to go to drag bars in 1965, which was very hush-hush back then. And he was also married with 7 children. And he was in 1965. He was also dating a trans woman named Ramona and did not want anyone to know that he was bisexual. Not a one. So the cops are like, okay, if you don't tell us, we're going to tell everybody that you're bisexual. And he was like, oh, no, please no, because back then it's taboo.
Just lie and say it didn't happen. Right. And you've been cheating on your wife for years.
Right.
And you literally just proposed to a known murderer during the court proceed. Like, yeah, you are trash too, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And why are they jumping on Joe's dick? It's like, go after like anyone else in her Rolodex of
Tony.
Fucking dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so think, yeah. Poor police work.
They call Joe up to the stand, and he tells a story that he's never told before to anyone. It didn't match any statements that he's ever said or nothing. Like, he says, all of a sudden he's like, well, Alice told me that, well, Joe, if you just would have come over that night, none of this would have happened. And she asked for forgiveness for killing Missy. And Alice in the courtroom jumps up, starts screaming. She was like, Joe, how could you do this? You are lying. You are a liar. Like, why are you doing this? Obviously, we all know why she did it. He did it. But the defense kind of did a shitty job for Alice, too, from what I read in, like, the court stuff. They got desperate and did something that most of them don't do. They put Alice up there.
Because they had nothing to say she didn't do it. Like, it's hard to defend someone when all the evidence points that they did it.
Right.
So then they have to bring her on.
Right. And it backfired bad. So
it wasn't going to go well.
At one point, the prosecution asked her if she's ever been, I don't know, where they're like, have you ever been swimming at Joe's house? And she's like, yes. So, like, everything she said before, she was like, before this point, from like on the show and everything, they were like, everything was going, like, they were sympathetic. And even though she had been painted in the newspapers as already doing it pretty much. And then everything's going well. She seemed like a normal grieving witness, mother, whatever. But then they're like, so have you ever been swimming at Joe's? And she's like, yeah. And they're like, what were you wearing when you went swimming? And she said, one time a bathing suit and one time no bathing suit. And they said, where were your children when you went swimming without a bathing suit at Joe's pool? And she said they were dead. So after a long-ass deliberation, based on the medical examiner's testimony, she was found guilty of manslaughter of Missy Crimmins and got 5 to 20 years in prison. Alice was quoted saying that it was awful how distorted they took the facts and played them in their favor, and it was never really like that. That was her stance. Like, yeah, I was fucking around, but I was
a horrible mom.
Yeah, and that was her stance.
Didn't care at all. Mm-hmm. I didn't love my kids.
And that was her stance.
So her stance was like, I actually didn't care about my children at all.
Right.
I'm asking.
No, I think her stance was that, like, she was promiscuous and went around and fucked around. She was not a great mom. She never claimed that she was, but I think that she was like, yeah, I fucked dudes, but
I think she used the fact that she had a shitty reputation as the excuse for, like, she acted like she was a victim, and I truly believe she killed her kids.
That's valid.
I truly believe that she killed her kids, and she can't hold any accountability whatsoever in her life. She wanted to keep partying, keep fucking around with guys. She didn't want to have to fucking deal with her kids. She locked them in a room at night. She never paid attention to them.
Fucked up.
Stayed up all night, left them in the room, most likely went on a yacht and left them for days. Right. When they died, she didn't cry. She wasn't upset. She grieved in no possible way.
Right.
In no possible way.
Very shitty.
And then literally it was like, it's just because I'm a whore, you guys are blaming me. Right. Like, I am who I am. Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is what I wanted to know, because most people side with.
But who do you think, like, what part are you going to get to where, like, there's someone else? Like, is there ever a suspect? Like, why do you think that she didn't do it?
I'll get to a couple of them. Yeah. I don't know if she didn't have anything to do with it, but I don't know if she was there was.
You told me, you go, I don't think she did it. So I am so looking forward to the next 3 pages where you give me evidence that she didn't do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, 5 years after her conviction, the very prosecutor who took her to trial and went against her, he goes, I know it's weak. This is a quote. I know it's weak. I don't know if she did it, and it seems unlikely. I can't even believe the story I told to the jury. I don't even believe it now. Like, the own prosecutor is like, basically, I did it because that's what I was supposed to do. Even though he went on record, like, I don't believe that story at all.
Interesting.
And then 5
I don't know if we got a story.
5.
Do you, like, yeah. Did we get, like, they're saying, like, did they say at midnight she snuck into her kid's room, pulled them out of the beds, they went outside? You know what I mean? I'm not hearing any story of murders.
They didn't debunk her story, and the reason, and the jury that convicted her said the only reason they did it was because of the medical examiner, and the medical examiner was literally like, well, they basically told me I had to do it. So that's kind of where I'm on the fence, just because I'm like, I feel like they pressured a lot of people to saying what they wanted them to say.
Like, we didn't fully even get how they died.
Right.
Anything on their clothing.
Exactly. That's why he's like, I know the case is weak, because it was. Like, it was literally like they hung their hat on the testimony of this guy and that's...
Yeah, but I also don't, like, did they not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because even when you were talking about the medical report, you never said asphyxiation. You never said the cause of death.
Right.
So it's like...
In all the reports, they focused so hard on the stomach contents that I think it was glazed over. Like,
it couldn't have been.
Yeah.
It's impossible that they wouldn't have said it in the... Impossible. You have to say the cause of death.
Yeah. Okay. 5 years after the trial, he was quoted saying that. Also, Alice's lawyer found out that the jury had gone out on their own and done their own investigation, which they're not supposed to do.
That's illegal.
Yeah. They went to Alice's old neighborhood and went to Sophie's.
Impossible.
Yeah. So they got a new trial.
This is...
They got a new trial because it's like, why they could...
5 years later?
Yeah. Because they found out that the jurors admitted, they were like, yeah, we went and did our own test. They're like, you can't do that. So...
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
So then this is 1971, and it was a little different, not much. Alice was finally legally divorced from Eddie, and people had loosened up a little bit about Alice. They weren't as mad about her being a little sex kitten. Now, and I say that, but she was a shit mom and whatever. This time, the prosecution included little Eddie's murder in the charges as well.
Okay.
Joe testified the same, and Sophie walked in there, and they said that she thought she was on a reality TV show.
So they brought Eddie in this time. Did they have new evidence?
No, little Eddie's murder.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had more evidence? Because they weren't able to put him in the first time.
Yeah.
So I would assume they'd have more evidence then.
Right.
Right? Interesting.
Yeah. So, Sophie, the neighbor, walks in there, and they said she was smiling and waving like she thought she was on a runway. And then they somehow find another witness that saw what Sophie did out of they took this long and they found someone else. Alice decided to go against her gag order that the court had placed on them because the news and everybody were there every day.
Of course.
And so she went outside the courthouse and she pleaded with the public on TV. It was like, if anybody saw anything, please come forward. If anybody saw anything for or against, I want to know who did this to my kids. Please come forward, right?
She only wants to know what happened to her kids because she's on trial for the murders.
Right.
Because
right,
she wasn't helping.
Right.
She wasn't doing anything in this part. I truly believe that it's all super circumstantial. And if the tables were turned and it was me, I would not want to go to jail for not doing the crime.
Right.
But she did nothing.
Right.
She just didn't do anything.
She didn't do anything to help herself. If she was innocent, she didn't. She pushed back too hard and didn't make herself look innocent.
And she didn't even look for her kids.
No.
She wasn't worried about her kids.
Yeah.
Her kids were missing. She didn't cry about it. She wasn't overly upset.
Right.
She was happy they were gone because she started dating right after.
Yeah, and tried to get back with her husband and then kept dating.
That's what I'm just...
Yeah. So she... okay. And so Alice went out and asked. So a man came forward named Martin Weinstein, and he called her lawyer, and he was like, I think Sophie, the neighbor, saw me, my wife, and my 2 kids and our dog that night. We literally did that. And he later said he regretted coming forward because he was harassed by the public. Like, why are you helping a murderer? Everyone hated that guy for coming forward and saying,
yeah. He was just like, dude, it was me.
He was like, yeah. And the prosecution kept saying, we know a man that helped her, but we're not going to say. So in court, they were like, someone else helped her. We know who it is, but they never would say who it was. Well, the defense attorney was like, okay, we found out who you're talking about. It's a guy that was in jail. He told his cellmate that he did it, and they wouldn't put that guy on the stand, and they figured out why, because when they talked to him, the defense called that guy up, and they were like, he goes, no, I lied. I didn't have anything. I didn't help her. I don't even know her. I was bored. So he makes, that's the defense, or the prosecution was hanging their hat on this guy who said he helped it, and he gets up there on the stand and is like, I didn't say that. I made it up or whatever. So shockingly, I was shocked by this. Alice was found guilty again on her second trial for murder in the first degree of both Eddie Jr. and Missy Crimmins. So she collapsed in the courtroom, and after 2 days in the hospital, she was sent to prison. 2 years later, her conviction for Eddie Jr. was overturned for lack of evidence, but the court still upheld the manslaughter, the original charge, for Missy. So she was sent to prison to finish out that sentence until 1977. The state of New York considers the case closed. So
yes.
And there were other suspects that were never considered at all. One of them, there was a boy that I read that had brain damage, and he had told his teacher and his priest that he had done this, and he lived in the neighborhood, and he was out all the time. And then after they went missing, he wasn't. And then 2 weeks after that, he was found shot in their apartment.
Like, he shot himself?
It was self-inflicted, but it was ruled an accident.
How old was he?
He was it just said teenager.
Yeah, I'm sure if we don't know the level of mental handicap.
Yeah.
I'm sure if he just touched a gun.
Yeah. But also his dad was a cop too. So they were saying, well, they didn't look at him because his dad was a police officer. So I don't know.
Sure.
I'm just laying it up, laying it
I'm
on
just
the table.
seeing if any of it, like,
yeah.
I'm still not saying it, but carry on.
And then there were also some B&Es in the neighborhood that were happening around this time. So there was a lot of robberies, breaking and entering. One intruder actually got caught when he was stealing something by a little boy that was close by to Alice's house, and they were robbing him. And he was like, hey, come with me. You should come with me. And the boy's like, no, I'll get in trouble. And then told his parents, and then that's who it was. So basically there were other options that weren't looked into. So there were people robbing houses. So if the screen was off, he saw the screen, not get locked back, he could have done that.
Didn't rob a single thing in the house, just kidnapped for the first time?
True. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. And after Alice's parole in 1977, she ended up living with Tony Grace, yacht man, in Florida, and they had gotten married while she was in prison. And it was rumored that Tony passed and Alice moved back to New York, where she kind of just faded and she Homer Simpson into the bushes. And nobody really knows. And that is the story of Missy and Eddie Crimmins' murder. Yeah. I don't know. I think she, like, after I kept watching and reading, I think she did it. But I don't think she got a fair shake at how.
I love the change.
Yeah.
From
I just don't know why everybody was lying.
Because they thought okay, I am excited to tell you why everyone was lying.
Yes, please.
Everyone was lying because they thought that a mother killed 2 children and got away with it.
Got it.
And that she was living her life, fucking through town, being a hooligan, and not even upset that her kids were dead.
Yeah, that was sad as fuck.
So everyone was like, if this is circumstantial, which it is because they either didn't do their job or they didn't have the forensic evidence that they needed.
Right.
They came together to put her behind bars.
Right.
Which is what you do back then.
Yeah.
That is not shocking at all. Like, all of this to me is exactly what I would have guessed.
Yeah.
And then the 2 possible scenarios of backup, that is bullshit. Blame the mentally handicapped kid.
Yeah.
Blame, like, we're blaming a handicapped kid because it was an easy thing to say, and we're like, they never looked into it.
Well, I mean, he did tell his priest and his teacher, though. But, and then
did he say it? But, like, I want to know the date and the time, and if it wasn't public record, and his actual handicap level, because if he was extremely handicapped, that doesn't matter.
Right. That's true.
And then he accidentally shot himself with a gun. I also am like, I need to understand the actual mental handicap. Because this could be from 0 to 1,000.
Oh, yeah. And they said that he had to pull the trigger. That one's kind of wishy-washy, too, because after after they went missing, he would only see his teacher and then his priest, and that was it. And those are the 2 people that he told. And they said that the teacher did tell the police. And then they said that he pulled the trigger with his toe. So, like,
he could have.
And I was going to ask you because I don't know how that
I don't know
works.
what the fuck he was doing. I don't know what kind of gun.
Yeah.
But
they said that he shot himself.
or appendages.
Yeah. They said,
so a toe and a finger is the same thing on how it can function on a trigger.
They said that which is all sad.
It's all horrible.
Sad. Yeah.
But that's also how, like, people have killed themselves with rifles that way.
Yeah.
Like, on purpose with their foot.
Yeah. So, and the flip side of that, like, they were saying
you can't hold, if it was a rifle, that's the only, I don't know. That's the only way he could have killed himself too. But I also don't understand what the fuck was going on with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to say, I think that she went to jail because she should have gone to jail.
Yeah. After hearing that's why I was interested, because me solo researching, I was like, I don't think she got a fair shake. Like, which she didn't.
She didn't because people lied.
Yeah. Even if she didn't. Yeah. I don't know. It's
I feel like there's too much of a lack of information on this one too. Not for a lack of your research. I want to make that clear.
There's a whole book that I
But
didn't have time to read.
like there's, and I'd love to read that.
Yeah.
And like understand, because I feel like this has so many layers.
A ton.
And I just don't think, in the sake of the amount of the time of this podcast, that we really got to get into those layers.
Right.
But I had like, the number one thing is what she was wearing, Missy, when she died.
Right.
And why no one's talking about that. Mm-hmm. Why was she strangled with a pajama shirt if she was in pajamas?
Right.
And once more, it sounds like that implied that they were her pajamas. So that also makes me think it was the mom.
Yeah. See, when I was typing that out, I didn't think about it. Like
That didn't
when I
make
was
sense
reading
to me.
it, I just was like, oh yeah. And then you said it, I'm like, oh yeah. That's the great thing about our podcast is that when we have, I forgot the fucking camera was there.
I feel like I feel like you know, you read Gone Girl, and like she had set that one up specifically because she knew her husband had a poor way of like feeling emotions, and like a little autistic in the sense that he wouldn't handle it right.
Right.
She knew his personality wouldn't handle it right. So she knew that he would look guilty.
Mm-hmm.
What Alice did is beyond looking guilty.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, oh, I'm a little weird around people, or I'm camera shy, or I'm so hot that random people talk to me and then I giggle at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Right.
This is her. She truly, blatantly made it very fucking apparent that she did not care that her kids were missing. And that when they died, she carried on as if it never happened.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Some people are like coping mechanism. Some people are like, well, she did it. And she's like, you know, I'm not supporting it. I'm just
I know, but we've got to get the definition of a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Because showing absolutely no feeling, reacting completely like it's fine, fucking other, those are not coping mechanisms.
Oh, I agree. I would just say flip side.
No, you keep saying it though, and it's not right. Like you're like, flip side is
flip side theory that other people have. Maybe I should make that clear.
I hear you. I'm just like, that's not a coping mechanism. Is laughter in the sense, in the moment of sadness, and you make a joke.
Oh, yeah.
One time. It's not your entire demeanor for a year after the death of your kids.
Yeah.
That's not a coping mechanism. That's you being yourself.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm just quoting the people.
So they're the people in this. The two people that thought that she was not guilty. Those two people were like, her entire behavior this whole time was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. On the other flip side, there was all kinds of theories, and that was one of them. They were like, well, she didn't know how to grieve. Everyone grieves differently. I'm like, I don't know about that one. There's a difference between not trying to get your mind off things and your life going exactly to how it was before.
Yes.
But with no children.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's so sad that
it is terrible. I don't understand that story. That one is just like, what the absolute fuck?
Yeah.
That's what fucking gets me with crimes in like the 60s, 70s, early 80s. It's like you can't understand it.
There's hearsay.
You can't wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
You just don't feel like, none of the evidence feels strong beneath your feet. It all feels really fucking shaky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like that one. I did not enjoy the emotional toll of that one. And then you have two little sweet babies dead.
I know.
And it's just so sad.
At the end of the day, they were only 4 and 5.
I know. That's horrible. Did Eddie cry? Did he just act like it was fine?
He was. I think he was. I don't know.
You know what? You're saying the coping mechanism thing, and I'm over here like, I don't know. I'm over here thinking right now, is that the era? It was the 70s, so they were, or the 60s, they were that way. And I'm like, no. I read so many fucking books about war, like huge, massive wars, even back whenever we were like barely humans and we were still shitting in streets, and parents openly cried for their children.
Right.
It wasn't a stoicism, you know? I was like, were they just being stoic? No.
Right. It's one thing to be independent, and she was independent, and to stick it to the man before her time, quote unquote. But there's a difference between that and how she acted. Like, she went way too far if that's what she was trying to get across.
Right. And I also I hear that she was like independent. She was only independent because she lived on her own. She relied on men
Yes.
to fill her cup in every capacity.
Very valid.
Like
point.
she was not able to sit in her own anything.
Yeah.
And she used dicks like people use Kleenexes after a sad day. I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
I think that is the bow
Where we end this. Great job.
Yeah. It was
Fuck your story. And fuck Alice.
I mean, you know what?
Like, I feel shitty for being so anti her, but I'm like, based on that, I'm still anti her.
See, that's why I said I don't know. I don't think she did it, but I want to hear your opinion. And like, just talking to you, I'm like, she looks pretty. Because I got to hear a different side besides only what I was reading and thinking alone, you know?
Yeah.
So it's different when you talk it out. Let us know what you think, guys.
Right. Comment.
Yeah.
Also, rate, review, subscribe. Text your friends about us.
Yeah,
because
do
we
that.
text our friends about you.
Yeah, we do all the time.
Yeah. Don't forget, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you.
We love you. Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, A Couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?